Most agencies don't care about you. And here's why. I understand, having worked at 2 agencies. In my early 20s, at 20 years old, I worked at one that was small, probably less than 100 clients. I worked at another one that had clients like Aldi, Microsoft, Officeworks. When I was a little bit older, 21, 22, I was a BDM there. And what I learned very quickly was the difference between a small agency with a team of maybe 3, 4, 5 people and a big agency with someone, and it's ironic because that bigger agency, God's been good, probably has as big of a size as we now do as well, which is amazing. Time flies. But the reason why agencies don't care that much about you is because humans were evolved to grow up in groups of what we call 150, okay? We grew up in tribes of 150. So what that means is we knew that we could only care and look out for 150 people in the tribe. So as soon as that number extends 150, at a subconscious primal level, your brain can't justify, I guess, exercising that much care, love, affection, true intent for people that are more than that number. That's why things like social media, that's why things like dating largely are disrupted as a result of Dunbar's number, which is 150. Now, if we relate that back to a corporate company, if you look at a huge company, a huge corporate conglomerate with thousands of employees, since we as humans were evolved to only care about 150 people, if you have 3,000 people, how can you even know? I don't even know all of my clients. And we have 50 staff. So when you add 50 staff plus around nearly 100 clients, that's 150. I'm maxed out. And that doesn't include my family, that doesn't include my friends. I'm already psychologically maxed out. I don't even meet all of my new staff all the time, right? So agencies are going to struggle to care for you, but that doesn't mean it's just because they're big. It might be. Another reason is because of the incentive. You need to make sure that you have mutual incentive. What we do when we run campaigns for clients is we say, hey, listen, there's a minimum guarantee or target that we know we'll be able to hit within a period of 90 to 120 days or 180 days. After we hit that target, then we can start to be more aggressive. We make big money when people start spending a certain amount of ad spend because our monthly fee is not that expensive, but that plus a percentage of ad spend is what makes us big money. As an example, say a company is spending 100K a month on ads and they're paying us just 3 or 5K a month. $3,000 a month, it sounds like a lot of money. When you have 50 staff, unfortunately, it's no longer a lot of money. But what happens is if they're spending 100K on ads, if we get 5% of that, 5% of 100K on ads is now an extra $5,000. $5,000 plus 3K is 8K. Does that change my life? No, but it at least makes things a lot more profitable, right? So you need to make sure you have aligned incentive, and where most agencies fail is they are just focusing on the 3-month retainer, getting the deal closed, the PIF, which is a paid in full, a big chunk of money paid up front. What I like to focus on is hitting a small goal first, and then after that goal is hit, then I can start to play bigger games with the client because we're invested in a long-term play. The more money you spend, the more I know I'm going to be able to make more money because you've made more money, right? So having aligned incentive is crucial. The third reason why a lot of agencies don't care about you, okay, is because they know that you don't understand marketing. That's the unfortunate reality. So they'll tell you just enough for you to sign up, but not just enough to say where they're strong and weak. I'm the kind of guy that will say, hey, listen, we're really, really good at SEO. We're really, really good at appointment setting and sales. And here's why. But to be honest, there's people better out there for Google Ads. I'm great at Google Ads, but there's probably people better out there than Google Ads. And the thing is, by the time this video comes out, maybe I won't say that because we're probably just going to keep getting more Google Ads case studies. But there are strengths that you will have as a company, and there are weaknesses. A lot of agencies do not articulate their weaknesses. For example, we're good at copywriting, but there's better copywriters out there. I one time hired someone that worked for Ty Lopez, and she was a really good copywriter, right? But does that mean we're a copywriting agency? No, we are not. If there was someone to write emails professionally at a 7-8 figure level, there's people that have done it better than us. But when it comes to ranking people on the page 1 of Google, we're probably one of the few that have got as many case studies as we do in Australia. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of agencies don't care about you because of these things. So if you want an agency that does care about you, don't even take my word for it. Just look at There's case studies in the description. We have different links. There's private consulting for people that want to learn how to install systems into their business, like a 7-figure company like ours. Or there's people that want to be able to learn how to do it by themselves. Maybe they're a small sole proprietor. They want to learn how to do social media, learn how to want to run ads, learn how to want to sell. There's also a product for you for free for that as well, and a paid product. On top of all that, there's also hiring us to do your service. And that's, again, another link in the description. But ultimately, it comes down to you looking at what other people are saying, not just what I am saying. Because ultimately, I am another agency owner. The difference is I can be real about what makes my industry both strong and weak. If you got value out of this and you think someone else can get value out of this because they're looking to evaluate a good agency, then simply use even, especially if it's an SEO agencies, look at the 9 SEO checklist document that we have and go and ask each of these agencies questions about these different checklists. You can use that and end up picking a different agency. I'm not offended. I'm fortunate that I had a piece in the puzzle of your own life. But what I will say is this. If you can meticulously ask people questions based on what is in that document, then you might realize why we are currently a top 1% agency in all of Asia Pacific. See you in the next one.